has chosen the Celtic Cross spread for your general monthly reading, which is perfect for this setup since it looks a little bit in the past, a little bit in the future, but focuses the most on what is going on right now. It is also the only spread that I do that devotes a card and a position to the environment. So there is likely something around you this month that Spirit wants to bring your awareness and attention towards. And that is what we're going to do today. Okay, Aries, it is time for your Celtic Cross spread for January 2024. Let's start at the beginning of the cross, the very middle. You and all that you are is represented by the Fool card inverted. This is basically talking about a bad decision that kind of you enter 2024 with. I don't know what this is. It's going to be different for everybody more than likely, but Spirit here is calling something like, this is a mistake. This should not have been done. Maybe you're able to undo this mistake, maybe not. I don't know what version of it is. It makes me feel like it has to do with somebody younger, age gap younger, because I have the Page of Pentacles that comes up next. And they let me know with this page that they're talking about a person, a court card here. I have double courts, so that's let me know a person. So we have a generation gap younger here. Depending on kind of where you're at, this could be like somebody like the age of your child, or you could be the child if they're talking about, your parents. So there's a generation gap. Either way is who they're talking about. That's what crosses a lot of Aries. That's what's on your mind right now. And Spirit is just kind of like, I see you. I see you worried about this bad decision. Maybe the bad decision is not with you. Maybe the bad decision is theirs. And they made what you believe to be a bad decision. Okay? So they show mending. So there is some kind of recourse to this. Mending is like healing, coming back from the injuries, if it was an injury, if it was like maybe they broke their heart, they got their heart broken, okay, so it's more of an emotional healing. I'm not sure what version of this it is, but that's what they talk about to start your reading with. So that's the crux of where we start with the cross. When we get into the back position, this is kind of like going back in time here. They show that this is the recent past though now too. This is like probably November, December-ish. And they talk about a social imbalance here that like a lot of my Aries, they need to get this fixed, okay? Because the social is either one of two extremes. You're either having way too much fun, spending way too much money, drinking, partying, just living loose, whatever, no rules. Or it's the opposite of that and basically saying like you're not doing anything. You're being boring, you're a couch potato, you're not doing anything fun, you're not living your life, okay? So we got to get the social dynamic turned around here. That's obviously important because it ties into your current month. So January is maybe an opportunity for you to deal with this, do something to improve your social, maybe hang out with a friend of yours you haven't seen in a long time, maybe reach out to an old friend you've lost touch with and ask, hey, can we go get lunch or something like that, right? Nice and easy, something like that. So they bring up handling the social imbalances that are still entering your January, depending on what extreme that is. As we move into your future, near future, what they talk about for Aries is the card of hard work. It can also be apprenticeship, like learning something new, learning a new skill or trade or something very interesting. And it can also be the card about hard work, like making a lot of money, but you're working hard for it. So that is overall a pretty good indicator moving forward. It would be easier, or it would be nicer, I guess, if it was easy work and it was just easy money coming to you, but that is not the case. They're saying you're going to have to work for it here. You're going to have to bust it out here in the future. There is some hard stuff coming as far as the effort is concerned and the energy is concerned. Now, as we move into the above position here, Aries, this is going to be a couple different things for a couple different Aries. And this is a perfect time for me to remind you that this is a general reading. We have a lot of great Aries tuning in, but you're sharing this energy in this reading with all of your Aries friends. If you're looking for messages that are personal, private, and specific only to you, I offer a wide variety of services on my website, scottsagent.com. So up here in the above position, one definition of this is bankruptcy. Like just the money is spent, and here in this position, they're telling you that you're already aware of this. So you would know, you'd be very aware. So they're not telling you nothing new here. If you're out of money, you know you're out of money, right? Well, they're reminding you, hey, you got to do something about this, okay? Like we need a change. This cannot continue, right? The other version, the other definition of this card is the same exact energy, but it has nothing to do with money. It is just feeling empty, abandoned energy, kind of like left out in the cold, not feeling the warm and fuzzy. Okay, so either way, Aries, we want you to feel the warm and fuzzy. We want you to feel the warm and fuzzy financially. We want you to feel the warm and fuzzy mentally and emotionally as well. So that's very important. So Spirit is basically calling this to your attention, a little tap on the shoulder saying, hey, Aries, this is an important deal. So this is something you're going to want to address, and maybe January is a good time to do it, especially since they talked about the social imbalance and getting the social kind of like brought back to normal, right? As we move into the bottom position, this is my favorite part of the Celtic Cross because now I'm telling you something you are not aware of. Okay guys, let me take a moment here to tell you about the reformatting of your general monthly readings, as well as a few very exciting updates that are coming. The first thing you've probably already noticed is that the overhead camera has been removed from your spread. This saves us about 4 or 5 minutes. If looking at the cards, though, is something that you're interested in, I am posting the picture, a snapshot overhead view from the spread that I'm doing for every sign. You can find that on Facebook. Also on Facebook, you'll be able to find the printout for chemistry tracking for your month. And this is also posted on my website. Chemistry tracking basically shows what sign is going to be vibing well with your sign in the month, as well as what sign or signs will be repelling, kind of opposite energy. What sign you're going to be kicking well with and what sign you're not so much. Moon Cycle cheat sheet will also be posted on scottsagent.com on the Talking About page, and also Moon Cycle will be included in your reading, along with the Rune Stone, and along with Homily. All the things that you've grown to love will still be in your reading. You're getting an extra thing here, though, because every single sign is getting angel protection at the end of your reading. This is an extra angel card, just a little extra information from Spirit about your month. However, all the spreads that I called extra spreads, stuff like telling time, yes or no, chakra scrub, health scrub, stuff like that, animal totems, all that good stuff, those are all extra spreads. Those are going to be moved into what I call urgent readings. Urgent readings are going to be posted the very first week of the month. If Spirit requested one, about half of the signs get these. So that's going to be very important to look out for. Those will be posted everywhere, but of course all the newest updates will be posted on scottsagent.com first. The last thing I want to share with you today is that the quadrants video is coming. January 3rd is the date, and that is the quadrants video for your sign. And this forecasts information for the entire year. It is some of my most popular videos and audio products as well. So quadrants is something you do not want to miss. That'll be everywhere January 3rd. What is a quadrant? Well, quadrant forecast for your entire year broken up into 4 different pieces. And we're going to be talking about things like work, health, love, money, planning and preparation for vacations, relaxation, when the best quadrant is for you guys to get busy and be productive, when is the best quadrant to play it safe, and when is the best quadrant for risks. We're going to be looking at themes for the different quadrants, a whole bunch of information that you guys will be able to obtain from these readings, so do not miss the quadrants dropping January 3rd. And for January only, Quadrants is available as a personal audio product, a personal reading done just for you, looking at the planning and preparation for your year, going through all of the same topics, but just making it that much more accurate for you. It is one of my most popular products, and it is only available in January, so do not wait to book your Quadrants reading. scottsagent.com. And your bottom position is the Star card. It is a good card about wish fulfillment and having good destiny and momentum come to you. You're not aware of this, but here's the thing, Aries. It's not about you. It is not about you. They let me know that with my Oracle Angel card that says, not for you. So what this really means is that something really great is going to happen to somebody in your bubble, in your circle, which is nice. It's excellent. It doesn't necessarily help you out. Well, maybe it does. Maybe you're a beneficiary of somehow, some form, some way here that this really bubbles into you too. But this is really about somebody else here. So something very, very good and nice is going to happen to somebody else. Maybe the person at the beginning of the spread. I'm not sure. But that is good news for us to see happening in January that you're not aware of. So Spirit is filling you in on that. As we move up to running up your sides here in the Celtic Cross, we get into number 7. Number 7 is your advice. For your advice, they show how things are actually moving in a good trajectory. Things are actually going pretty well. It doesn't mean you necessarily feel that way, though. So the advice is to keep your head forward instead of backwards. They show a lot of you Aries kind of looking back at the past. You need to be looking forward. or at least in the present, okay? Like, you don't want to look too far in the past. You don't want to look too far in the future either. You really want to try to get yourself as much grounded in the moment as possible. So don't look too far back. Don't look too far forward. They show a lot of you are really concerned about like people out to get you to. So they show like piranhas in the water, and this person is in a boat and he's facing the wrong way. This person is facing the wrong way in the boat. You want to be facing forward. So the advice is to just kind of turn yourself around, and you'll see the progress. As we move up from there, number 8, here we get into the environmental card. This is what they want to talk about, probably why we did the Celtic Cross. They want to talk about what is around you guys here in this month. And yeah, I did check that. It's a queen, so I just wanted to make sure I did check to make sure they're not talking about a person. They are not. So we're using the energetic definition of the Queen of Swords. So this is nurturing your mental, nurturing your mind. Okay, so you want to be in an environment where you can be of peace, okay? Because not nurturing the mind would be stress, anxiety, all kinds of negative emotions that can come from that. So you really got to get to a good place here, and you got to be your true self in your emotions and in your environment. I mean, so this is a big deal for Aries because you can't put on a mask forever. You can't pretend to be somebody you're not forever. You got to be your own true person. Otherwise, Aries, it is just not going to work for you. You're going to be unsatisfied all the way through. Here we get into number 9. Number 9 here, guys, we get into hopes and fears. And this is obviously a fear. So I need to remind you guys that sometimes fears are illusionary. A lot of times they're all up here. You know, we worry about things that may or may not ever come to be true. And you're basically paying that bus fare, and you're putting a quarter in this meter that is this fear, and you're basically helping manifest it. You're helping bring in the negative. And of course, you wouldn't do that on purpose, but that's what happens with our fears. You're putting a quarter in this meter and you're not realizing that you're doing it. So this is something that you just want to get turned around. Basically, from my side of the table, it's very easy. All you got to do is this, but easier said than done, especially for you. So what they talk about here, the fear, what is this fear about? This fear is about completion. You're feeling like you're afraid that you may not feel complete, or you might not ever mark something off the list here. You know, maybe it's a goal of yours. Maybe it's something you've always wanted to do in your life. Maybe it's something to do with traveling around the world, since it is the world card. There's something that you're concerned might not ever happen, might not ever occur. So I just want to, give you the idea here, plant the seed that this may be you're wasting your time on this. And not only are you wasting your time fearing what you believe may be inevitable, you're helping bring it true as well, which is like the worst thing you could possibly do. They bring in the Y card next, WHY. So they're basically saying you're a little bit confused here and about why you're not feeling complete, or what this completion aspect is. Maybe some of you don't even know what I'm talking about right now. That could be why they're saying why as well. So, maybe give it some thought. And if that is you that doesn't understand this part of your reading, maybe give it some thought and come back to it a little bit. And maybe go back and listen to the reading again or something like that, because it's coming up for a reason. They want you to understand. They don't want to make this confusing for you. They're not trying to trick us or make it very elusive. They're trying to be very clear as much as they can. And number 10, the way we end the month here, Aries, is you got to be careful about lessons that you should have learned from your past. They show this as something you struggle with, and the universe is going to keep testing you over and over and over and over and over some more until you figure this out. So there is something that you struggle with that is probably going to come in at the end of your month, and it's up to you to show the universe, like, okay, I'm actually done with this. I'm a bigger person now. I don't need this in my life, or whatever it is. And you pass the test, because that's what it's all about here, is that they're saying you are going to be tested late in January. At least they're letting you know when, right? So you can be ready for it. Now, as we get into your runestone, they gave you the runestone of defense. So there's something that they want you to be a little bit guarded about, be a little careful and cautious about. And that makes me feel like the bad decision at the beginning, depending on who they're talking about there, especially since there was mending and possible injury involved with that. Definitely be safe. You want to play that extremely conservative. No doubt. There's no doubt about that. What else for defense? Looking around. Defense of the mind, the environment. You got to defend yourself in your environment. You got to be in a position where you are not stressed out and freaking out, right? So the environment is big for defense. You got to defend your position. Okay, so there we go. Defense through your Celtic Cross. And we're going to wrap up with an angel protection card, which I now do for every sign. And you guys, of course, take good care of you here. And you got the angel protection card of co-create. This is just a little extra oomph, a little extra tidbit for your month. And Spirit here is talking about how important it is for you, Aries, to do something with somebody else. You and blank are supposed to work on something here together in January. Co-create, make something special. Not sure what it is, if it's like a work thing, if it's a love thing, or maybe something to do with health. You and a buddy going to walk together, go work out together. Maybe something to do financially, like you and a financial advisor are finally getting together and figuring out your finances. Or it's basically you and somebody else, you and another entity. And it's very important for you to do this in January, obviously, or it wouldn't come up. So there we go with your Celtic Cross, guys. I'm going to send you over to the moon cycles, and we're going to wrap up after that with a very special homily. Okay, guys, it is moon cycles forecast time. Let's talk about these lunar energies that are all around us anyways, so we can use it to our benefit, implement some positive change into your month. Well, the first thing you need to understand is whether these energies are coming in or going out. Just like the tides, the moon has control of that. In the same way, you can use it too. The first thing that hits chronologically this month is the new moon. You're going to see all the text information on your screen, any rare occurrences, as well as the date. Now, this is a target date for the new moon. It doesn't have to be done on this date, guys. I really like to bracket a few days before and a few days after to get a very powerful week where you can bring new things into your life and really manifest. If it is NEW, it's not there before, brand new, this is the best time to bring it into your life. Something new financially, maybe something new with work, new love, new health. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's new, this is the best time of the month to work on these things, really help bring it in. Adversely, the full moon, the opposite energy, the energy going out, hits on this date on your screen. And of course, the same rules apply. It doesn't have to be done on this date. We're talking about a week window, a few days on each side of it here. When this energy is very strong going out, and the energy going out is the best time to get things out of your life that don't belong there or that you don't want there. Something that's got control of you or hold of you that you don't want. Maybe something like a bad habit, maybe emotional baggage, a bill that's got to go. That would be something financially, maybe something with health, maybe an eating habit that's got to go. It doesn't matter if it's got to go. The full moon is your best bet to get this change to stick. If any of this has confused you, I've put together a moon cycle cheat sheet. I do it every single month. It is free. It is on the website, guys. You can check it out very easily. It is a little graphic illustration, a tool that you can use so you can kind of see these changes moving in and moving out, so you can align things in your month to it to really get them to stick, implement some great positive changes. Now let's get into your homily. Hey guys, this is Scott Sagent here for your January 2024 edition of Homily. And for this month's homily, starting the new year, I thought it would be fun if we did a little thought experiment here, so that is why you cannot see me right now. And that's okay, because I cannot see you either. It's actually not necessary. You can hear my voice, and that is all you're going to need in this exercise. It's a little thought experiment called the Ideal You. So go ahead and take this opportunity, since it's going to be a closed eye kind of a meditation. Take this opportunity to find a little couch, a comfortable spot, a recliner, a bed, a sofa, whatever it is for you. Get nice and comfortable where you can shut your eyes for a few minutes. If you're driving, you know what? Probably don't participate. I think that would be a bad idea. Maybe you can come back and check this homily out at a safer time for you. But for everybody else, let's get started with the Ideal You experiment. The very first thing I want you to consider and think about is what you would rate yourself here on a scale of 1 to 10, kind of where your placement is in life, how you have attained your goals over the last few years, if you're where you want to be, if you're nowhere close to where you want to be, the way that you present yourself, the way that others perceive you, all of these things. I'm just giving you a few examples of, obviously it's a much bigger umbrella, and whatever it is for you, the way that you come up with your rating system is just fine, but come up with a number to where you feel like you are at right now. Okay, so remember that number, but also throw it away. We're not going to need it for a while. Right now, we're not going to concern ourselves with future goals. We're really just worrying about the present, right here, right now. What does your ideal you look like right now? How do they dress? How do they carry themselves? How do they act around people? How are they perceived by people? How are they perceived in the workplace? All this kind of thing. You have to visualize it to make it come true. So this is a visual aspect that I would like you to consider right now. And be very, very specific about your visualization. think very deeply about the details. How this person wears their nails, what kind of jewelry they wear, what do they dress like, what kind of body language do they put out, how do they speak, what kind of tone, do they smile easily, how big, are they warm to others? This is your ideal you that I would like you to consider, visualize, and hang on to that visual. Now take this energy signature, this whole idea that you just constructed in your mind and put together and puzzle pieced together, maybe some of you duct tape and super glued it together, it doesn't matter. Take this energy signature here, and what we're going to do is we're going to expand it. We're going to make it much, much larger, however you viewed it before. We're going to multiply this times like 100, times 1,000, times whatever it is that this sucker is huge, whether it's a visual of you or a goal or what it is, we're going to make it massive. So think about it getting bigger, 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 and much, much bigger than even that. Now maybe some of you have made this so big that you have to zoom out just to be able to see the whole picture anymore, and that's just fine, but now we're going to adjust and tune the contrast. We're going to tune some settings here. So adjust that contrast. We're going to make everything very bright. All those colors are going to get vibrant and very, very sharp. There is going to be no dull colors here at all. Everything is super bright, full of contrast. Once you're done tweaking that, now we're going to tweak the brightness. We're going to make it bright, all the way fully bright as you can go before it hits white. So now these colors are not just bright, but they are almost blinding, and they are so sharp. The final setting that we're going to tweak is frequency. We're going to turn that frequency knob all the way up to high. You cannot hear frequency here, but you almost can, because as you turn it up high, you can see this picture shaking, vibrating. You can feel it very deeply in your bones. This frequency is being turned up high. You are raising the level of your energy signature of what you've created. I picture this ringing like a champagne glass, and once you've got this frequency all the way turned up, your brightness and your contrast all the way turned up, your energy signature, we want to blow it up, and not just blow it up to get rid of it, but we're going to blow it up and expand it out in every direction, just like a supernova, a star exploding, and we're going to mentally just shoot this whole entire signature that you've created everywhere, little bits and pieces of it, fragmented everywhere, every which way, and it's just dropping down like snow, falling a little bit here, a little bit there, and visualize how people are reacting to this version of you. As we wrap up your January homily and conclude our thought experiment, I have two final questions for you. Number one, rate yourself again, how you feel right now. I want to know how you feel, how this makes you feel, your ideal you being everywhere. What is your rating now? I don't care what it was before. How do you feel right now? Most people, general consensus, bump up their first number after an experiment like this of 1 or 2 points. Maybe you're experiencing that. Maybe you boosted even higher. Maybe you stayed the same, I'm not exactly sure, but the consensus is that most people do raise up just from this couple minutes of this idea processing in their mind. And visualization is key for manifestation. It is the only way that it is brought into the physical realm and made real. So now you have the tools. You know how to make this energy signature. And if you can bump your rating and feel that much better about your future right now in the present moment, imagine in just a couple of minutes, imagine if you were to do this every day. This is helping you to get to that goal, to get to that place, to get to your ideal you. It's not a future deal, it's a present deal. All this work is done in the present, and this is just one tool to help you get to that point. Hopefully, January 2024 here in your homily is a good bridge to get you there. So I hope you've enjoyed the readings and your homily. Thank you all so much. Have a great January 2024. I know you will.
I guess the fortune teller's right.